Welcome to Impacting Jamaica, where we shine the spotlight on the many but often ignored positive happenings, activities, projects, and investments at every level across every sector to inspire, motivate, and excite people everywhere.
My name is Keisha Hill, and welcome to Impacting Jamaica. This year, 220 Jamaican students have received a free full set of glasses, frames, and lenses through Quartz Optical's Brighter View initiative. Now in its fourth year, Brighter Views has gifted over 1,000 pairs of glasses to students island-wide. Joining us today on Impacting Jamaica is Jeton Porter. He is the Regional Chain Manager for Quartz Optical. Mr. Porter, thank you so much for joining us on Impacting Jamaica.
Thank you for having me.
All right, wonderful. Now, over the last 3 years, the Brighter View initiative has given hundreds of Jamaican students at the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels the gift of sight. Tell us, what is Quartz Optical's Brighter Views initiative all about?
Okay, so the Brighter View initiative, it's a corporate social responsibility initiative that's led by Quartz Optical. And through the program Brighter View, we've been able to, over the last 4 years, impact hundreds of students by helping them to see clearly. So Brighter View has improved the lives of students by helping them to remedy many of the visual impairments that they may have, free of cost to these students, I must hasten to also add. So in previous years, we had a different approach. Previously, we used to go and ask for nominations. However, this year we decided to open the application countrywide so that any student could apply either via themselves in the physical form at a location, or they could also apply online or be nominated by their school, so that we reached a wider cross-section of people. And through the Brighter View program, we have screened, diagnosed, and provided prescription glasses for needy students to the range of over about 1,200 so far. Some of them had also presented with some very, very difficult, advanced visual difficulties.
Thank you so much, Mr. Porter. Why was it deemed necessary to start this initiative for Jamaican students?
Well, the easiest impact we can say is the change in working environments for students, which happened with the onset of COVID a few years ago, as we know. So this exposed a lot more students to the fact that they now had to work from home in an online space as opposed to being in the classroom. And the challenge that came with that is this now exposed for many students the challenge they were having from a visual perspective in terms of using the computer on a consistent basis, the issues that can come along with that from blue light, which is emitted from all devices such as your screens for both your phone, your laptop, and even actually from the sunlight as well. So this has become much more prevalent, and many more children were more challenged as a consequence of that. And we felt it was an opportune time to then start this program in terms of giving back.
All right. So when did the Brighter Views initiative start, and how has it impacted students to date?
So we started the program 4 years ago. And to date, we found that we have changed many students' lives in terms of affording them the opportunity to see, and also to obviously focus fully on their studies when they're in class, as opposed to having to concern themselves about the visual challenges they may be having.
All right. What is your target audience? Because I realize that it's just not regular students in the schools. Something has been mentioned about state care.
Yes.
Tell us about that part of the program.
So with the state care, we have actually ensured that we include state care facilities such as children who are in care homes, etc., to ensure that we target those who are most needy. So we opened the program up to ensure that we included these probably most needy students within the group of our target audience. With that being said, we also obviously go into the regular schools as well, but we want to try to ensure that we get to those who need the help the most, and also those who are challenged the most.
And state care meaning the children that are under the government, or is it just private? Is it private or a mixture of private and government?
It's a mixture of both. We're trying to, do a cross section of our communities to ensure that, we impact and touch upon every particular aspect in terms of children and homes, whether it be government or otherwise.
Why is vision care so important, especially for these students? And you just mentioned those in our state care. Why is that an important aspect of the responsibilities, of course, the CSR responsibilities?
Well, let's first think about it in terms of the impact on people's lives. If you cannot see fully or function fully from a visual perspective, you're always going to be challenged in terms of understanding what's being presented to you in terms of information, but also from the perspective of your day-to-day lives, you may be challenged because you cannot see to function on a day-to-day basis. So for us, the key is to try and provide that opportunity to those most needy so that they can then function fully. And also from a societal point of view, we then put them in a place whereby they're in a better position to contribute and to gain from society overall.
All right. And one of the things that I'd love for you to touch on is the number of students, right, that are a part of this program and who have benefited. Why do you think so many children are in need of this kind of assistance from this program?
Well, the number of students, as I was mentioning before, so far is over 1,200 that we have impacted in terms of them receiving free eye examination and also free glasses. However, in terms of applications, we've probably had over 20,000 applications. So you can see that the need is great and the number of people applying is also significant as well. And what we're trying to do, we'd love to expand the program, obviously make it bigger. But at this time, we are happy to have impacted 1,200 lives in a positive manner.
And you mentioned over 20,000 applications. So when you are deciding, yes, it would be based on need, but when you're deciding who the applicants are that would benefit from the program, you have a committee in place, of course, but what are the criteria for the applicant?
All right. From a criteria perspective, a part of the application form does ask for us to get a little bit more detail or background surrounding the persons who are applying. And obviously from that, the committee has an opportunity to then look at each person from a needs-based perspective and then make a decision in terms of who we feel is going to be most impacted and who obviously is in a position who greatly needs that help. And from that, we then whittle down to the numbers that we eventually give the actual glasses and the full eye exam to.
You said the number of persons that are applying are like 20,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have given 1,200 so far. When do your applications open? And for those desiring to be a part of the initiative, how do they apply?
All right. So in terms of the application opening or the times, usually we open in January of every year. The program itself usually takes place during February to March, and most people get their glasses by April at latest. So those are the timelines. Now, from our perspective, we ask people to apply early because obviously with the committee, there's a lot of work that has to go into play behind the scenes to ensure that we can deliver the glasses to those who need it most in a timely manner.
All right. So are they able to apply in person or is it online? What's the criteria?
Thank you for asking. In terms of applying, so there are different ways. Yes, you can apply online. So usually on our social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram, we would have the ability for people to apply via those mediums. Separately and apart from that, you can physically fill out the form inside the location in any Courts Optical island-wide. We actually have 13 locations island-wide. And you can go to that location, fill out the form accordingly, and that will be sent in to the committee that we were mentioning earlier on. And from then, the selection process begins.
What is the general feedback from recipients that have benefited from this initiative?
The response has been great. Many of the students, in some cases, who were extremely visually impaired, had been in a position where they were unable to go to school because they could not see, in some cases. In other cases, it has enhanced their ability to function both at home and also at school. And in some cases, it's really just been a case that they may have had a pair of glasses before for many different reasons and factors. They can't afford a pair now. And the fact that they've now been able to receive a pair from Courts Optical completely free of charge has really changed their lives in quite a short period of time.
All right. And the beneficiaries are from right across the island. You mentioned 13 locations.
Mm-hmm.
And from information here, these are in Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. James, St. Anne, and Portland. Are we missing a parish here? Yeah, man,
Yes,
I don't see
yes.
St. Thomas. Oh my
We
goodness.
haven't got St. Thomas and we haven't got Hanover at this time, but do watch this space. You never know what may be coming.
All right, that's wonderful. So those applicants from those two parishes, they can go to the other locations.
Of course, and that is why we've tried to, ensure that we have a large and wide catchment area, and also the ability to capture as many people as possible, even if we're not necessarily within that parish.
All right, so we've covered, why is this initiative an important corporate social responsibility for Courts Optical, and we now understand that this Brighter Views initiative is giving sight to our students at all levels, primary, high, and tertiary levels. And now you've added state care, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at it to say vision care is important, and it is often viewed as a luxury. So really, court is really giving back in a very meaningful way. Okay, Mr. Porter, thank you so much for joining us on Impact in Jamaica, and we hope that Courts Unicomer Jamaica will continue giving back in this way to the gift of sight.
Thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate, and we will continue to serve our communities as best as we can, and to always give back.
All right, so Courts Optical is excited to be able to serve children through its Brighter Views initiative, and Courts Optical is a member of the Unicomer Group, and the Unicomer Group are the owners of Quartz Ready Cash, Lucky Dollar, Radio Shack, and Ashley Furniture Home Store.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Impacting Jamaica. If you or anyone you know is involved with projects and activities that excite, motivate, and encourage, send us an email to impactingjamaica@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Do join us again for another in the series on Google Podcasts, Audible, Spotify, Podcast Addict, and Stitcher. You can also visit us at impactingjamaica.com.